How to pass half butterfly guard. Massive question I get a lot of the time from my students, from my subscribers in the comment section. How to pass half butterfly, and that's a good question. It's a freaking hard guard to pass. And shout out to my online student Max, who just won gold this weekend in Spain. He played a legendary half butterfly guard. He absolutely cooked everyone with it. So of course, how do we actually pass half butterfly? And I used to think it was actually impossible to pass it for some reason. And I used to tell people, there's no way to pass. Okay, that was me when I was a purple belt, super dumb. Now I'm a black belt, I actually understand how to freaking pass this position. Not saying it's easy, but I'm saying there is a great way to pass it. And if you do get good at it, you can definitely surprise some people with passing it, because oftentimes people don't actually have a good game plan. We're gonna break this up into two ways of how we pass half butterfly. The first is gonna be passing by beating my opponent's top knee by getting on the inside of it. And the second way you pass is by taking this knee and getting on the outside in this direction. So it all involves the trajectory of this knee. He wants to keep this knee between my two clavicle bones. So when I try and come forward on Freddie, it's difficult. What he wants is his foot nice and sticky to my foot where he can elevate. He wants his knee between my shoulders where he can keep me away with his knee. And he wants all access to my inside position. So the first thing we're gonna look at is beating the inside position on this side. When we're here, we can't treat this like a normal half guard because of the knee shield. We can't treat this like a knee shield because of the hook. So if I take, for example, a far side underhook, well, if Freddie goes to elevate me, I start going crazy out here and he can start tip me over. So we're gonna look at taking a near side underhook as our first option. And it's unusual to take near side underhooks, especially when you first start learning jiu-jitsu, but a near side underhook totally nullifies his ability to use this hook, because this hook works in conjunction with Freddie using this arm. So I'm in my partner's half butterfly, he's playing a good posture. The first thing I'm gonna do is just fish for the near side underhook. I take 4 fingers and I'm just gonna place them here at his ribs. Once I get this, I just take my body weight and I bear it in a way where I don't wanna ever push into the knee shield. The worst thing I can do is this, where now I'm pushing against his femur. I wanna challenge his body in a way where his muscles feel weak, and the best way to do that is like so. If Freddie's got the knee shield here and I try and push into the knee shield, well, obviously he's strong. But if Freddie, if you just try and keep a knee where it is, look how weak he is when I move it in this fashion. See how I can move it this way so easily? This is what I'm always trying to challenge. If I can consistently challenge Freddie 1, 2, 3, this is what gives me the ability to get through the knee shield. So the first thing I'm gonna do is challenge it externally. I take my chest and I line it up on the inside of his knee shield. Go posture, Freddie, yep. I take my hand to his rib, and as I move, you'll see my chest is actually flattening Freddie's hips to the mat. I take my chest to the inside. Here, we're wrestling here, I'm in the knee shield. Boom, I just very subtly take my sternum and put it on the inside of his knee. I take my 4 fingers, and as I move, I step my leg out, and that allows me to flatten Freddie out. And you'll see I beat the knee shield. Now, if I didn't have the underhook, well, Freddie can just take a concave spine and turn me back into the guard. Even just that way, yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, actually that's true as well. He can also elevate me this way and enter my leg. So I take my 4 fingers, I line them up and I step my leg out. Stepping my leg out is gonna allow me to move my body to force his knees to the ceiling. 1, 2. Now I have the knee side underhook. When Freddie goes to enter that leg again, the underhook stops him. He tries to swing back in his guard that way, the underhook stops him. Even go concave with your spine and really try. Let's keep my head over that far delt. This is all I need, this near side underhook. Once I get here, my goal is gonna be to turn Freddie's knees away from me. So now I've beaten the knee shield, I need to maintain my pin. My near side underhook stays, I pose the head on the mat, and I take a near side head block. The head block keeps him in place. Go ahead and try and move me around. It's extremely difficult. The next step is using external rotation in my leg. If I let Freddie lift my leg up, he can still put me on a hip and get back to his guard. So what I'm gonna do is let my leg move independent of the rest of my body. As Freddie goes to lift my leg, try and get me off. See the independence. My leg moves independent of the rest of my body. I'm staying strong, but my leg's going like a wet noodle. My foot points to the ground, my knee goes to the ceiling. Go ahead, Freddie. And I just play this position. Once I'm comfortable with this concept, I then work to take Freddie's knees that direction. I walk, and then I take this elbow and I cut the inside of his hip. Now Freddie, go to elevate me. It's impossible. And I break that knee down. Once the knee breaks down, if I'm flexible, I'll step into his hip and use that to curl his feet back to mount, or I'll just lift my leg up, step over the top, collect. So all at once, Freddie's here in the half butterfly guard, and I'm gonna challenge his knees this way by dominating the inside space. So here, we're playing the half butterfly guard. I just subtly take my chest to the inside of his knee. And once I get, that's 4 fingers. Off the 4 fingers, I just throw myself into the knees underhook. Chop. Once I chop, Freddie goes to elevate me. Go ahead. I just let this leg go loose. Take my elbow from here to the inside of his knee. If I'm being more like realistic, I'm gonna stick my head to his body as well. Once I stick, as Freddie goes to move me around here, it's very easy for me. My elbow being on the inside of his knee means I can even cut over the top. I can elevate over the top. And if Freddie really tries to lift me up, my leg just flicks over. Why? Because his ability to elevate me also involves him being able to crunch his spine out in this direction. So if I don't have the underhook, he can turn his spine when he goes to lift me now. I fall over. Taking a knee side underhook means when he goes to elevate me, he can't crunch his spine, and my leg can start flicking over the top. If I need, I can push it through and get to mount. The next strategy, guys, and by the way, if you want consistent strategies every single week to improve your training, just like Max, who won gold this weekend in Spain, hit up the caption for my online coaching program. We can work one-on-one and make sure you're actually smashing all your goals this year. The second strategy I would employ against a half butterfly guard is getting my body on the outside of his knees. So the first strategy we looked at was getting on the inside. This can be difficult against a savvy opponent. The next strategy we look at is getting to the other side. Now we're gonna challenge the muscles, not externally, but internally and away from his chest. A good half butterfly maintains a connection between my clavicle bones and folds to his chest. So as I come forward, he folds, he's strong here. What I want is the ability to pull his knee away from his chest and down. And the best grip to take here is just a hand that holds the quad here. Now I'm free to try and pull your knee to your chest. It's impossible. A good opponent will take this hand and strip it every single time, or upwards probably, yeah. And they'll strip the hand off, okay? Doesn't mean that everyone does that, right? People can get caught off guard with a grip like this. They might think it's weak, or they might underestimate it, like a Trojan horse. From here, his knee's in place, I just take this little Trojan horse hand. And guys, don't grab it like this. Don't make it obvious. He's gonna freaking strip it. We're here playing, I just put my hand here subtly. From this subtle grip, I'm gonna pull his knee towards me, and as I do, get my sternum on the outside of his chest down this way and break it down. So here he's playing, I put my hand subtly, pull, strip. His knee comes down. This is easier than you think. Once his knee comes down, I cover his hips in my right hand, like so. When Freddie goes to put me back in his guard, I just make sure his knees can't face the ceiling. Go ahead and try. I keep my chest over it. I'm then gonna take my left knee, step over, and collect his hips. Now, of course, when Freddie tries to put me back in his guard here, it's extremely difficult. So again, Freddie plays a knee shield. I'm trying to get on the inside here. He's being difficult. Chop. And notice how they play it together. If I just try and chop here, Freddie go actually stronger. Of course, it can be hard. He's using the knee shield to defend. So what I can do is change together my offensive tactics. I take my hand, knee underhook, I start playing this, I come back and chop. Once I chop, cover his hips. His hips are covered now. From here, if Freddie goes to face his knees to the ceiling, I just make sure my chest stays over the outside of his femur bone. So now it's impossible. Once we're here, I just maintain the connection to my partner's body. My right ear connects to his delt, and I gauge his reaction. If Freddie does nothing here, I just walk straight to mount. If Freddie starts really trying to retain his guard here, I just maintain this connection, and I make sure his knees stay together. This gives me a good ability to step over and pass. Now guys, the last tactic we're gonna employ, and this works pretty well. I did this against Pavel Jaworski at Worlds. I didn't actually pass, but I got pretty damn close. And that was obviously a good light in my mind where, okay, this is actually a really great way to pass this position, because if you can get to a body lock in the half butterfly guard, you should be able to pass 99% of people. Pavel, unfortunately, is the 1% that I couldn't pass that day. But from here, my goal is gonna be this. I'm gonna switch the side he's playing half butterfly. Sometimes it can be very difficult to collapse a flexible guy's knees and get on the inside of a savvy opponent. So what I'm gonna do is force him to play on the other side and beat the inside of his knees as I move. So my right hand, I'm just gonna take this hand, I'm gonna chop the inside of his hip. Here. Off the inside chop, I take my leg out wide. And I'm gonna make a movement where I take my hips out this direction so that his guard gets converted from one side to the other. And you can see I'm inside this knee. That's gonna be my whole goal with this position. So I'm here, I take my hand to the hip. I go 1. As I pull, my right knee comes up and then it switches. My right knee currently faces this direction. Watch how it turns and it cuts to the other side of the hips. From here, get to your body lock and I can start looking to step over his knees. From here, Pavel did a good job of pulling his top knee inside and getting back to his guard. I need to make sure as the attacker, which now I unfortunately know too late, is keep my lat muscle over his hip. That's more important than anything. So when he tries to bring that knee back, it's impossible. Keep my head nice and low. I can then cut the inside of his knee, step over the top, and pass through the gap. I'm here like so, my hand comes the inside of his hips. I step and I chop. And I get to the other side. Notice now I've beaten that knee. My lat covers his hip, and I maintain my position. Free to try and pull back in your guard here. It's extremely difficult. From here, if I want to, I can even come back to hip and knee pose, get back to my feet, run them down. But guys, you understand the whole goal of half butterfly guard is to challenge the weaknesses of the guard, which is pulling the knees from the chest, turning the knees across center line, opening his knees up, and getting inside position and forcing him to allow us to obviously pass the position. Guys, if this video is epic, please subscribe. If you want one-on-one coaching to make sure you maximize your results this year, make sure you're actually hitting all your goals every single week, KPIs, making sure that every single training session actually goes towards your goals and you're not just turning up the training and spinning the damn wheels. Hit up my school community in the caption. We'll work one-on-one, make sure you actually smash the goals this year. Thanks, Freddie. You are the beast.